Hi, this is Tom Rennie from TomRennieRunning.com with another instructional video on understanding cadence and stride length. The two of those components make up the pace that one runs, whether it's for a mile, 5K, 100 meters, marathon, half marathon, they're all the same. This is the formula in the black square that represents how to determine how fast you're going. Normally you would say, hey, I'm running an 8-minute pace today, 8:05 today. But there's components that make up that pace. People can run that same identical pace with a different cadence and a different stride length to produce that same thing, to produce an 8 flat, 8:05 pace, 9-minute pace. It's the distance that one travels divided by the cadence. Ideally, ballpark 180. We'll discuss that a little bit later. And the stride length, how long of a step do you take? Times 60 seconds. 60 seconds is the conversion because the cadence is in a minute component. So we need to change that so that the time that we're looking at, for example, an 8-minute pace, we're going to convert that to seconds. So simply put, this is the equation. We'll take distance, stride length, which are in the same measurement component units, meters. They could be inches, could be miles, could be anything, as long as they're the same component. They'll cancel each out on the division. So we're left with distance divided by cadence times stride length times 60 is the time it takes in seconds to go a certain distance. Let's show an example of that. A mile time. We want to determine here how many seconds it's going to take. 60 seconds times how many meters in a mile. That's the distance. 1609.344. Now, I've got a client. He's running at 177 cadence with a stride length of 0.99. You do the math, you get approximately 551 seconds. Converting that into minutes and seconds, it's a 9:11 pace. Now, doing a marathon, and it's going to be over 4 hours. I've got this client that's trying to break that 4-hour barrier. He is doing 60 times the distance of a marathon in meters. And that's 42,195. He has the same stride length and cadence, 177 and 0.99, determines how many seconds by just doing the math here. 14,448. If you convert that to hours, minutes, and seconds, which we all do that. I ran a 4:05 and 22 seconds for the marathon, whatever you want. It's always in hours, minutes, and seconds. He ran just over 4 hours. He missed it. His goal is to break that 4-hour barrier. Well, with proper training and analysis of what is his weakness, is it his stride length or is it his cadence? Everybody's different. So we looked at him, and the goal is to bring out the same distance, the marathon, increase his cadence by just 4, from 177 to 181, keeping that same stride length. That's a component that you can work on that will improve, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But doing the math by just increasing 4 for the cadence produces 14,128 seconds. Converting that down to hours, minutes, and seconds, that client now has PR'd by over 5 minutes. Now, it does come at a cost. going from 177 to 181. It does not happen overnight. It's proper training. You're going for a increase of 4 on the cadence. Now that involves muscle memory, fast twitch muscles, and that is not necessarily going to happen overnight, nor should it. Or maybe it shouldn't happen. Everybody's different. So let's get into what cadence and stride length really is. It's a sweet spot. We all hear 180. Oh yeah, I've got to hit 180. That's not the case. There's a sweet spot for everybody. Yours might be 177, 175, or it could be 187. Everybody's different. And the reason why is if you've ever played any other sport, for example, golf, we hit that ball and it just feels like you're hitting a rock. But when you hit it well, it's that sweet spot. It feels like you hit butter. You play tennis, whacking that ball, just twist your wrist, twist your elbow. But when you hit it right, it's sweet as candy. It's just smooth as butter. That's the same thing. You go bowling, gutter ball, but then you hit that strike and it just felt like effortless. And that's the component. And that's the reason for proper coaching to determine what your proper cadence and stride length is. It shouldn't feel hard. It's got to feel comfortable, natural, and repetitive. But as you can see in this example, for a 4-hour individual, you can really dramatically increase your speed. Hit that sweet spot, PR in this case, by 5 minutes, by just your cadence. We haven't talked about the stride length. The stride length is the same component. It's 177 in this example, times 0.99. If you increase both of these, and they're a set, the higher this combination of numbers are, the higher the value, the faster you will get, the lower the time will be. You'll go from an 8-minute pace to a 7-minute pace, to a 6-minute pace. So it doesn't matter if you're Usain Bolt, he's got a stride length, he's got a cadence, short distance, marathons the same way. You give me, through this equation, somebody's cadence and their average stride length, I'll tell you what pace they went. So look at these to determine your paces and what you can do about it. What's the benefit of just increasing your cadence, if that's your weakness, or increasing your stride length, if that's your weakness. Either way, you will run faster.